What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to have you here. This is Cosmic Campfire, and this is a podcast about comic books and storytelling and the process of creativity. So there's a lot going on. I hope you enjoy your stay. Before I ramble too long, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment, connect, follow, do whatever you do on the platform you're on. Don't forget to look for my furry face inside of an orange circle and click all the buttons next to it. So this is New Comic Book Day, May the 12th of 2021. And there's quite a few books on this list. I might end up cutting it down. If you want to know every book that's coming out this week, though, look up the podcast version of this. It's available through Anchor and everything else. I suggest you check out podchaser.com and look up Cosmic Campfire, and there's, all my episodes are there. And I go through the complete list of everything that's coming out this week that's offered through League of Comic Geeks. But the final list here, I'm down to 12 books. It's looking like I'm pushing almost $60, so I might have to scale this back a little bit. But at the end of the day, these are all books that I'm excited for, and I definitely intend to check out at some point. The first one on the list this week is Batman Urban Legends number 3. This is from DC Comics, and it has a couple different writers and artists on it, of course. Every book has had 4 stories. It's kind of being carried by Chip Zdarsky on an amazing Red Hood story that has been absolutely phenomenal. And then the book seems to kind of, it seems to bookend with a grifter story that is just as quality as the Red Hood story. And they're both really good, and I've enjoyed them. I like what we're getting out of these characters, and it's been a great piece to kind of expand the Batman universe without having to give us more characters in less limelight within a Batman story. So I'm really enjoying what they're doing there. The Outsiders story, it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. However, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of character or story progression going on. Just a lot of fun back-to-back scenes, and so I am enjoying it, but I hope it gets a little bit deeper in the next couple of issues, if it's going to stick around for that long. And then they've also had I think the first one was the Harley Quinn story, and the second one we got an Oracle story, and I'm glad that they're putting these characters out there, of course, but both of those stories just were, I don't know, they were kind of big misses for me. So what I would say is, if you're okay with 2 to 3 of these stories being worth the money you spend on the book, then absolutely. They're great. They're quality stories. I really enjoy them, and I do look forward to them. The other 2 stories I'm sure are going to be a miss for most people. And so therefore I would say, think about that. Are 2 stories enough to pay for the whole book? Or, do you... Because the Chip Zdarsky book story is really good with the Red Hood. I would say Red Hood, Grifter, Outsiders, and then... So, if that sounds good to you, if you're into Chip Zdarsky, I think that title alone kind of carries the book and the cost of it. Maybe just a little bit shy, but then, you have the Grifter story, and it's been really solid as well. So, take that as you will. Justice League, Last Ride number 1. This is also DC Comics, and it's also Chip Zdarsky. And we got Miguel Mendonca on the artwork. So, I don't know what exactly to expect out of this. We suspect that this is going to tie into the Justice League story that took place in Future State. So that may be the potential future that this story leads to. But honestly, I don't know. And so I just know Chip Zdarsky, it's a Justice League book. And I've been enjoying the Justice League stuff that I've been reading lately. So I'm definitely going to check out at least the first one and see where that story seems like it's going. But something tells me I'll be sticking around for the full, I want to say 6 or 7 issues on this one. Following that, I just mentioned Future State. So how about Future State Gotham? I think releasing more Future State books and using the same trade dress, I think kind of symbolizes something that maybe Future State was at least successful enough to have people interested and keep putting out Future State content. So the fact that Gotham is here has me really excited. This is Joshua Williamson, who has been an incredible writer on The Flash, And I know he's done some other things as well, but that's where I really got introduced to how great and how strong of a writer he is. And we see him right now. He's on this Robin book that we just got the first one. It was great. So I'm definitely going to be checking out Future State Gotham. I believe this kind of carries the Red Hood story that we had. It was like a backup story in one of the Future State books, and so I think this is carrying that over. And so I'm excited to find out more about that Red Hood, because he was an interesting character, but very mysterious. So that is one thing I would like more of. Is like, why is he the way he is? Why is he doing what he's doing? And he's just a fun character. I mean, I enjoy being around reading the Red Hood and being around him, because it's very action-packed, it's very gritty, it's very noir-esque, and so I like the character, I like the stories they usually tell around him. Magic the Gathering #2 is out this week. This was Boom Studios, Jed MacKay, and Guara. And I thought the first book was okay. Like, it didn't blow me away. I grabbed the Planeswalker variant cover because it's just fun to open. I mean, that's part of the appeal of Magic, is the booster packs and the surprises held within those little foil wrappers. So I thought it was just as fun to pick up the Planeswalker variant because it's covered, you don't know what you're getting out of the bag. So I'll probably do that on this one as well. It's just the nature of Magic. I really enjoy Magic. I like the game and the way that the rules work and the mythos and the lore that's kind of hinted at in the cards, but you never really get a lot out of. I've read a couple of the novels, and they're hit and miss. They're okay. But it's a world that I would like to see explored well. And so I'm hoping that Boom Studios doing a Magic the Gathering series will be cool and really help expand and bring out some more of the lore and the world around the game itself. And the first one was okay. It was a lot of building, and then they kind of, have an awesome, onslaught, and they kind of fight back, but it feels like a lot of the action was skipped over, and so I'd like to see #2 balance that out a bit. Now that we are in the world and we know what's going on, they've been attacked, and they're going to have to defend themselves, and we're going to get, I don't know, it felt like it was kind of setting up a Nottingham or Game of Thrones style setup, where you're going to have a lot of different factions, and faction warfare and alliances, and maybe some intermingled politics. We had groups that were kind of splintering off and talking behind each other's backs. So it seems like we're going to see more growth in this world, and I'm excited to see how that plays out. If 2 isn't a little bit stronger, I'll probably drop this after the third one. But for now, I'm here. Let's see what's going on within the world of Magic the Gathering, and hopefully it moves in the right direction. Mighty Morphin #7, Boom Studios. This is Ryan Parrott and Marco Renna, and this series has been great. I want to point out, the covers for this book are really cool, especially the Lord Zed one in the Command Center approaching Zordon. I thought that was such a beautiful cover, really good work. And I've enjoyed the story in Mighty Morphin so far. The end of the last issue was kind of like a twist thing where they had got inside the dome, because the dome has been put over Angel Grove, and so they can't really get to the citizens and everything. Matt, the new Green Ranger, revealed himself to the public via TV news conference, and then the Rangers got inside the dome, and Goldar and Matt, the new Green Ranger, seem to be working together. So pretty big cliffhanger. Excited to see what that all means and how this is going to play out. Are we? Did Matt betray them? Did Grace betray them and Promethea and all of that? Or I'm not sure exactly why Matt's on the other side. I hope it's not another parallel universe thing where we get every Green Ranger is just going to be cursed to be the Lord Draken or whatever, So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I hope this is the same Matt and the same Green Ranger, and we just have a weird turn or something going on here. I hope it's not the other extreme, that they have Goldar from Lord Draken's world or something, and so in his parallel reality he's the good guy and now he's here to help us or something. let's not go down the parallel reality world again. I want to see something different. So I hope it's more of a betrayal and some kind of like interesting political alignment sort of ordeal. And I definitely hope it's not more parallel universes. But other than that, Mighty Morphin's been pretty cool. So I'm excited to see what comes of all this. Scout's Honor number 5. This is Aftershock Comics. This is David Pepose. This is probably the last time you're going to have to hear me say that I interviewed David Pepose on my channel, and and also in podcast form. And I had a blast talking to him. It was right after Scout's Honor number 1 came out. We talked about a bit about that process and what it took for him to make Scout's Honor and where the idea came from. It was a really solid beginning at that point, and every issue has just really built upon the last. And issue 4 was like a lot of character building, and it pretty much stripped Kit, the main character, down and rebuilt her in the state that she needs to be the warrior that can win this fight. And so number 5 is the finale, and I am very excited to see how this wraps up. Like I said, the 4th issue took the time it needed to build the character and build tie a lot of those loose ends and stuff, and set us up for an epic finale. And I think we're about to get that. I think it will deliver. David Pepose doesn't really disappoint, so check that out. Probably a little late to jump on now if you weren't reading it, but I highly suggest you keep your ear to the ground, because I'm sure in a month or two David and Aftershock are going to have some sort of trade announcement. And I would make sure to pick that up. I think it's been a great series. It's so good. Space Bastards number 5. This is from Humanoids. And, I've enjoyed this. It's just been a fun ride. I need to read the last one still. But the first 3, really solid. Great, like, action comedy kind of stuff. With a lot of, like, adrenaline pumping moments. And things, it reminds me very much of like almost like biker culture, at least from the outside looking in, and it's just like a lot of fun. It's a lot of like over the top stuff. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of got some 90s-ness to it all, and it's just a lot of fun. So check out Space Bastards number 5 from Humanoids. Project Patron number 2. This is Aftershock Comics. Steve Orlando and Patrick Piazzalunga. These Project Patron, I read the first one. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. The only other Steve Orlando that I know of, I think, is Midnighter and Apollo, or Apollo and Midnighter. I've read a couple of issues of that series from like 2017, I believe, and maybe 2016. And it's good stuff. And then Project Patron, it was really cool. I thought it had a great little twist to it all. Like, it wasn't some like crazy off the wall twist, but it was enough of a I didn't see that coming thing to kind of like pique my interest, I guess, and really hook me in for at least 3 issues of this. I'm gonna see where 3 of them go. I have heard the reviews out there. I think First Issue Club, they talked about how like Steve Orlando, often his writing starts out pretty strong and it kind of gets bland or boring or something to that effect. So we'll see what happens, because I mean, this is kind of like a high concept sort of thing, so it'll depend on how he carries that out. But like I said, I enjoyed the first one. I'm definitely going to check out the second one, and the third one is pretty much on the list at this point, but it's going to depend on how the third one ends as to where I feel at that point, whether I'll continue it or not. Black Cotton number 2. This is Scout Comics, and guess what? I've interviewed Brian Hawkins and Patrick Foreman before, and before the first book dropped, in fact. So I'm excited for the second one. I was able to read the first book early before our interview. That was probably a couple weeks before the first issue dropped. And, so they let me read the issue ahead of time, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I love the world it's setting up. I love the concept that it's setting up. More importantly, I really like the way Brian and Patrick are thinking about the world and like the development of it. Because they're making themselves, one, it's just not as straightforward as you think. There's a lot of like little elements laced throughout the world. There was never any kind of slavery, so that completely changes the way modern society looks at skin color and racial issues, and so they're really trying to, when they talk about this book, they talk a lot about the dialogues that they have back and forth with each other when they're trying to make a decision about the story or the characters or whatever else. And so they really try to play it out and see how different this world would be, because they do feel a certain responsibility to the social commentary they're providing and driving through this story. And it's a really good story. It's a really cool story. And I really love the way that they're exploring different facets. Shameless plug for Brian Hawkins. He has one of the best email newsletters out there. So if you're not signed up for that, sign up for it. They're really brief. They're really short, once a week. And it's really just like, potent information. He talked this past week about story pacing and how you do that. I believe the newsletter itself is called Story plus Character plus Obstacle equals Story, I believe, something to that effect. And so he basically takes like little elements of storytelling and kind of writes out like like a micro essay over it or something. It's probably only like 500 to 1,000 words long. It comes once a week, and it's just like really great, really powerful information. And I always appreciate seeing that in my inbox. So check out Brian Hawkins. Brian Hawkins. He's on Twitter. He's on Instagram. And the links in his bios there will more than likely take you to his newsletter. So check that out. And, of course, check out Black Cotton #2. And the last one is a brand new one. It's an Image Comics #1, Time Before Time. And I don't know, like, it looks really interesting. I really have no clue what it's about. I don't know anything about the story. I love the cover design. They have 2 covers. I like the white background on the A cover, but I really like the black and yellow on the B cover. And I like the style of the B cover a little better. The only thing, I wish it had like a white background or something to kind of contrast it all. Because while the black and yellow looks great, it blends in with the background and everything. And so it really doesn't pop. So both covers have a lot to like, but I found it kind of frustrating that neither of them quite delivers the style that I would enjoy, I think. And so I wanted to point that out. But either way, Time Before Time is an interesting title. The cover looks cool. It looks like it has some kind of sci-fi bend to it, so I'm really into that. And so I'm excited to check this out. It's an Image #1. I've only had one bad experience with an Image #1. Unfortunately, it was recently. I did not enjoy Helm Greycastle. And actually, speaking of First Issue Club, I just saw that they dropped an episode where they review that book. So I'm pretty excited to check that out and see what they thought of it. Maybe other people will disagree with me. But Helm Greycastle was kind of a miss for me. So I guess that puts me a little hesitant on Image #1s, promoting them the same way that I was before. But, this should be cool. And this seems a little more in my wheelhouse than Helm Greycastle was. So I'm excited to check it out. It's an Image #1. If nothing else, pick it up. It might turn into money, I guess, that you could flip or something. I don't know. I'm kind of just rambling at this point, but that's the list for this week. Like I said, it's a pretty long list. There might be a couple of them that I drop here before I actually make it into the shop next week. We'll see how things are looking at that point. But overall, let me know in the comments. What are you excited for? What books do you think I should check out that weren't on this list? And what books are you not interested in on this list? Are you going to pick up Time Before Time? Do you have room on your pull list for another book? Let me know below, and I'll tell you, top picks for me right now, like Scout's Honor #5, easily my most anticipated book of the week. Every issue of that book has been so good, and I'm excited for a finale. If anybody has been watching for a while, they probably know how I get real giddy at the end of a series. Just so it's over, like I know the story, I know the character, it wraps up, and it comes off the pull list, and it makes space for something else. Honestly, I don't know if I would pick up Time Before Time #1 if I didn't know that Scout's Honor is going to be leaving the list, and that's how I think of my pull list. Like, I'm always looking for series that are going to end because it means I can rotate them out. I love Bitterroot. They do 5-issue story arcs, so once, 5 months of every year, I know that I'm going to have an extra title on my list there, so maybe there's something else that'll be coming off, you know, and that's how I manage my pull list. There's a couple number ones on here, in fact, so a lot of low numbers. Number 7 seems to be the highest, so yeah, I'm excited to see what Time Before Time number 1 is. That's probably in the top just because it's so mysterious. I don't know anything about it, and so I get excited for that. And probably, let's see, Time Before Time number 1, Scout's Honor number 5, and Justice League. It's a brand new Chip Zdarsky story. That has me excited. As Comic Vet would say, you know, he's the best writer out of Canada or something to that effect. I don't know. He's always excited about these Canadian writers. I just like Chip Zdarsky for being a good writer. So that's all I have for you. Hope you had a blast. Check this out if you watched my last video. I got my Captain Simeon hanging up here watching me as I record this video. So go check that out. Until next time, keep flipping pages.